Welcome, beautiful damsels. Not all those who wander are lost, but some who stand still are entirely untraceable. There's a certain type of woman who doesn't seek validation, who isn't swayed by trends or the expectations of society. She operates on her own terms, a quiet force hidden in plain sight. A rare and mystifying archetype, breaks all the conventional rules and thrives in a space that most people don't even know exists. While most are busy playing by the book, she's busy writing her own, leaving people both in awe and utterly confused. Did you know that often possess traits that are so unconventional, so mind-bending, that psychologists still debate where they fit into the social hierarchy? She's neither a leader nor a follower, but something else entirely, something almost unnervingly unique. Get ready to dive deep into the ones that will make you question everything you thought you knew about power, independence, and identity. These are the traits that defy explanation, the quirks that make people stop and say, WTF? You won't believe what's coming. Number 1, the master of sixth sense. She has a sixth sense for people. The Sigma female possesses a deep, almost eerie intuition when it comes to reading others. It's as if she sees past the surface and directly into their motives, fears, and intentions. When she meets someone, she doesn't just hear their words. She listens to the spaces between them. She picks up on the smallest shifts in body language, the slight pauses in speech, the hidden emotions that others miss entirely. What makes this so extraordinary is that it's not about being judgmental or skeptical. She's not trying to expose anyone. Instead, she has this natural ability to understand what people are really about, often before they've figured it out themselves. You might think you're keeping something from her, but somehow she already knows. She can sense when someone is being insincere, and just as easily she recognizes authenticity. But here's where the real intrigue lies. She doesn't call it out. The Sigma female doesn't need to confront you with her knowledge. She'll keep it to herself, observing quietly from the sidelines, letting you reveal more about yourself than you ever intended. This insight allows her to navigate social situations with an almost mystical level of precision, knowing exactly whom to trust, whom to avoid, and when to simply walk away. It's like having a superpower, but one she uses with restraint and wisdom. The effect? People are drawn to her, but they're also slightly unsettled, never quite sure how much she sees or understands. And in most cases, it's far more than they realize. Number 2, master of the escape act. The Sigma female is a master of disappearing without a trace. One moment she's in the room, quietly present, and the next she's gone, as if she was never there. What's strange, though, is how effortless it feels. No dramatic exits, no drawn-out goodbyes. She simply slips away. Most people, when they leave a gathering, make a bit of a show about it, letting everyone know they're heading out. But for her, it's the opposite. Her exits are subtle, almost invisible, and by the time you realize she's gone, it's too late to even react. What's really intriguing is that people don't get offended by it. They don't feel slighted or ignored. Instead, it leaves them curious. There's a mystery in the way she moves through spaces, never fully anchored, never needing to announce her presence or departure. She creates an effect where her absence feels just as strong as her presence. And that's the part that makes people wonder, why did she leave? Where did she go? The questions hang in the air unanswered, because she's already disappeared into her own world, a place most people can't access. This ability isn't about being antisocial or avoiding attention. It's about control. The Sigma female knows when she's had enough and when it's time to move on without the need for validation from anyone else. It's as if she operates on her own internal clock, and when it strikes, she leaves, no fanfare necessary. The beauty in this trait is the autonomy it represents. She's not bound by social norms or expectations. She goes when she feels it's time, and in doing so, she leaves a sense of intrigue that lingers long after she's gone. Number 3. WTF. Confidence in being alone, but never lonely. The Sigma female is completely at ease being alone. In fact, she thrives in solitude like a cat sunbathing in the middle of an empty room. Where most people might feel awkward or restless without company, she feels empowered. You won't catch her frantically texting friends to fill up her weekend or scrolling through social media to see what she's missing out on. Nope. She's probably at home, sipping tea with not a single ounce of FOMO in sight. But here's the kicker, she's not lonely, not even close. While others might assume she's isolating herself or missing out on life's social buzz, she's actually having the time of her life, alone. Her solo time isn't spent in sadness. It's her way of recharging, thinking deeply, or simply enjoying her own company. You know that saying, "I need space"? Well, she practically invented it, and she's never felt more alive than when she's got a whole evening to herself. What's even more mind-boggling is how it confuses people. Some might wonder, how can she be happy without a constant social calendar? Does she not need people? And that's where the Sigma female breaks the mold. She doesn't rely on others to feel complete. She doesn't need a squad to validate her. And here's the funny part. While she's perfectly content binge-watching a series by herself, people can't help but want to be around her. Her confidence in solitude is so strong that it ironically makes her more magnetic. She's the person people try to reach when they want to hang out. But half the time, she's already busy enjoying her alone time. It's almost unfair. While most are chasing after social interactions, she's mastered the art of contentment in her own little world, leaving everyone else wondering how she makes being alone look so damn good. Number 4, rebel against feminine expectations. The Sigma female doesn't follow the rules because, quite frankly, she doesn't believe in them. It's not that she's rebellious just for the sake of it, she simply doesn't see the point of living by anyone else's standards. Society expects women to fit into neat little boxes. Be polite, be agreeable, dress a certain way, behave a certain way. But none of that matters to her. She creates her own path, one that often looks completely different from what's expected. If everyone is wearing heels to fit in, she'll wear sneakers, not to stand out, but because comfort always beats conformity in her book. She's the type of woman who won't be pressured into anything, whether it's relationships, careers, or life choices. Everyone around her might be racing to hit the usual milestones, marriage, kids, climbing the corporate ladder, but she couldn't care less. She's too busy doing her own thing. If she wants to start a new business in her 40s or travel the world alone while others are settling down, she'll do it without a second thought. It's not a statement, it's just her truth. And what's truly fascinating is that while some people might call her strange or out of sync, she's completely unbothered. She doesn't need anyone's approval to live her life. This independence can be jarring to people who are used to seeing women fit a specific mold. When someone asks why she's not following the traditional script, she might just give a little smile and say, "That's not for me," leaving them confused, but oddly intrigued. It's not that she looks down on other people's choices. She just refuses to let those choices define her own. What makes her so exceptional is that she's not out to make a scene or challenge the system loudly. She just quietly does whatever she feels is right for her. And that quiet defiance? It's far more powerful than any loud rebellion. It's a subtle yet undeniable force that makes you realize she's living life on her terms. And that's something not everyone has the courage to do. Number 5, a tactician in emotions, the chess master. The Sigma female has a way of handling her emotions that feels almost supernatural. Where most people get caught up in their feelings, reacting impulsively, or letting their emotions steer the ship, she seems to have a kind of emotional radar. It's not that she doesn't feel deeply, she absolutely does, but she processes those emotions with a level of control that can be downright unsettling to those around her. It's like she's playing a game of chess, and every move is calculated. When something upsetting happens, she doesn't fly off the handle. While others might be overwhelmed, she steps back, observes, and lets things settle before she makes her move. She knows that reacting in the heat of the moment rarely leads to good decisions. Instead, she quietly assesses the situation, weighing her options like a strategist. It's not about bottling up emotions either. She acknowledges them, but she refuses to be ruled by them. What's truly impressive is how she navigates emotional conversations. While others may stumble or get lost in their feelings, she maintains a calm, almost eerie clarity. If you try to provoke her or throw her off balance, good luck. She's not easily rattled. She might just smile, let you say your piece, and then respond in a way that makes you realize she's been 3 steps ahead the whole time. You think you're getting to her, but in reality, she's already figured out where this conversation is going and how she's going to handle it. This doesn't mean she's cold or detached. On the contrary, she feels deeply, but she doesn't let her emotions dictate her actions. It's like she's mastered the art of emotional self-defense. She doesn't react. She responds. And that's a skill most people don't even realize they need. Her ability to stay grounded while others are caught in emotional storms makes her presence both calming and intimidating. You never quite know what she's thinking, but you can be sure she's always in control. Number 6, the anti-follower who leads from the shadows. The Sigma female leads in a way that's completely unconventional. She doesn't bark orders, demand attention, or try to rally people around her. In fact, you might not even notice she's leading until you realize everyone is following her example. It's a quiet, almost invisible influence that she exerts without effort. She's the type of person who can walk into a room, observe, say very little, and somehow steer the entire direction of the conversation or group without anyone really noticing. What's wild is that she doesn't to lead in the traditional sense. She's not looking for the spotlight or the title. She's perfectly fine doing her own thing on the sidelines. But because she's so grounded in who she is and so confident in her decisions, people naturally gravitate toward her. She doesn't tell people what to do, she shows them through her actions. She'll solve a problem in her own way, quietly and efficiently, and before long, others are following her lead, mimicking her approach. This is what makes her leadership so unique and, honestly, kind of unsettling to those used to the typical louder forms of leadership. You won't find her giving motivational speeches or trying to win people over with charisma. She leads through example, through a steady confidence that others can't help but notice. People end up relying on her without realizing it because she's always the one who knows how to handle things calmly, without drama or ego. What's even more fascinating is that she doesn't need the credit. While others might be scrambling for recognition, she's content knowing she made an impact without having to announce it. And that's the real power of a Sigma female's leadership. She doesn't seek control, but she has it. It's this quiet, understated influence that leaves people both admiring her and slightly mystified by how she manages to lead without ever really trying to. Number 7, the mysterious chameleon who blends but never belongs. The Sigma female leads in a way that's so subtle it almost goes unnoticed, until you realize everyone is following her. She doesn't demand attention or authority, but she has it, effortlessly. It's not because she's trying to be in charge. In fact, she prefers to stay in the background, observing, making her own decisions. Yet, somehow, people start looking to her for direction without even realizing it. Take a work meeting, for example. She's not the one jumping to speak first or trying to control the conversation. She'll sit back, listen to everyone's ideas, and then when she does speak, her words carry weight. She cuts through the noise with calm clarity, offering a solution or a new perspective that changes the entire direction of the discussion. Others will suddenly start to build off her idea, and before long, the whole group is moving in the direction she suggested, without her ever raising her voice or pushing her agenda. What makes her leadership style so exceptional is that it's based on influence, not authority. She doesn't need to be the loudest or the most forceful person in the room. Her power comes from her actions, her intelligence, and her ability to remain calm under pressure. People naturally trust her because she exudes quiet confidence. They feel like she knows what she's doing, so they start following her lead, often without even realizing it. And the kicker? She doesn't need recognition or applause. While others might fight for titles, praise, or validation, she's content knowing she did her part. The Sigma female's leadership is so effective because it's based on respect, not control. People follow her not because she demands it, but because they too. And that's what makes her influence so powerful. It's completely unspoken, yet impossible to ignore. Number 8, the intellectual daredevil. The Sigma female has an insatiable appetite for intellectual challenges that sets her apart from the crowd. While others might find comfort in routine or stick to familiar topics, she seeks out complex problems and deep, often uncomfortable questions. It's not that she's trying to be a know-it-all or show off her smarts. She's driven by a genuine curiosity and a love for the thrill of exploring new ideas. Imagine someone who dives into debates about the ethics of artificial intelligence, spends weekends reading obscure philosophy texts, or tackles brain teasers just for fun. She's the kind of person who, when faced with a tough question, doesn't shy away or settle for surface-level answers. Instead, she digs deep, often finding herself in the weeds of intellectual complexity, enjoying every minute of the mental gymnastics. This relentless pursuit of understanding can be both fascinating and a bit overwhelming. People around her might struggle to keep up with her depth and breadth of knowledge. She'll bring up subjects or make connections that others might not even think of, and she does it with such ease that it almost seems effortless. Her intellectual daredevilry isn't just about showcasing her intelligence, it's a way of life. She thrives on challenging her own perspectives and pushing boundaries, always eager to see how far her mind can go. It's this constant quest for knowledge and understanding that makes her so compelling. People are drawn to her not just because of what she knows, but because of her passion for learning and her fearless approach to tackling complex topics. In a world where many stick to the familiar and the comfortable, the Sigma female stands out as someone who isn't afraid to dive into the unknown. Her drive to explore and question everything keeps conversations fresh and intellectually stimulating, making her a truly captivating presence. The Sigma female is a unique blend of mystery, intelligence, and independence that defies easy categorization. Her quiet presence, deep emotional control, and ability to blend in, yet remain apart, create an aura of intrigue that captivates those around her. She navigates through life with a sense of purpose that's both magnetic and elusive, leading not by asserting dominance but by inspiring through example. Her comfort with solitude, her intellectual curiosity, and her subtle, impactful influence all paint a picture of someone who operates on her own terms, untouched by conventional expectations. In a world that often prizes visibility and conformity, the Sigma female is a refreshing anomaly. She shows us that true power doesn't always need to be loud or overt. Sometimes it's found in the quiet confidence of someone who understands themselves deeply, challenges norms, and moves through life with an effortless grace. She's not just a character in the social landscape, she's a force, redefining what it means to lead and live authentically. And that, perhaps, is the most remarkable thing about her. If you're intrigued by the Sigma female and want more content that dives deep into unique traits and personalities, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join us for more fascinating insights and stay connected to explore what makes people extraordinary. Subscribe now. Thanks, damsels, for tuning in. See you in the next vid. Bye and stay blessed.